To begin with, I order online at Penn State Industries. I get the Funline Slimline kit, and it comes with 30 pens. Each of them have 5 colors. There's a gold, there's a silver, there's a gunmetal, I think there's a brass. There's 4 or 5 different types of metal. You get 5 of each pen. This is how they come in your mail order. Get that out of the way. And within that bag is a pen. And this is one pen kit. This will make 1 pen. And my idea was to make a silk screen small enough to fit an ink pen. These are 2 barrels, and I'm going to show you how you can silk screen these barrels. These happen to have Ivy Niles canes on them, and I'll show you a little bit about how to do that too. It's the same process. But I want to show you today what I use and how I do it. It comes with 2 brass tubes, and these are your barrels that you put clay on to make the design on your pen. It comes with an ink cartridge, and it comes with a mechanism. These are twist pens. Comes with a little metal mechanism, and this is during the assembly process. Your cartridge down into the mechanism, and that's what makes your pen twist and untwist to be able to write with it or not. You get a little clip to put over the top part of the pen, and you can hook your pen on a pocket in your purse, a pocket on your shirt, wherever. And just because there are all these pieces to this goes together very simply. It's not hard at all when you buy the assembling board that you use to put it together with. It takes a minute. And the other reason I like these pen kits is because they make a really nice, professional looking ink pen. Here's the little cap that your ink cartridge goes in at the bottom of the pen. And then on top of the clip that hooks on your pocket or purse pocket or whatever, there's a little top, and this turns out actually to be the top of your pen. So you can see when you get this all together, it's a very attractive looking pen. This is just a little, this is the gold kit, so all these pieces are the gold look. This is a little band that goes on in between the 2 barrels to make your pen and to connect those together. One of the best things of all, you get instructions on how to assemble this. And it's step by step. You can read it, or if you're a visual person like I am, you can look at the pictures and figure it out quite easily. Mari Joy Coleman has recently, in the last 6 months or so, started a store with cutters and silk screens. And her silk screens are probably one of the best I've ever seen. So she is who I contacted with my idea because I knew the silk screens would be great. Her customer service is great. I knew these would go over very well. And I wanted people to be satisfied with their orders, so I chose her to share my idea with. And what's really cool about this, let me see if I can find one you can really see. Look at the silk screen up here at the top with the leaves. And you can see this heavier stem goes into the middle part of the leaf on that end. And on this side it has the matching rest of the leaf that you can connect it with. So you have a continuous design all the way around your pen. And you know, not everybody makes canes, buys canes, likes canes. And I have done silk screens on several different pens before. But when you're working with a larger silk screen, it doesn't fit the pen well. So that's why Mari Joy took the measurements from my cutters that I have, that I got through Penn State, that fits the pens that we're using. And they're fabulous. So let me show you what else you need. Anytime you're doing a silk screen, you need a bowl of water, and I use Dawn dishwashing liquid in it, that you do your dishes in. The original blue one is the one I particularly like. And you just need the warm water to, with the Dawn in it, or a liquid soap, that you stick your silk screen in immediately. Because on these, I'm going to be using acrylic paints, and I do not want the silk screen little itsy bitsy holes to clog up I don't want the paint to clog up my silk screen. I think I'm going to do black and gold, and I'm going to put this fancier design on it, and I think you'll be able to see this quite well. This is a cutter I got from the set of Penn States, because they have different size pens and different size barrels and things. And this is the cutter that fits these Funline Slimline Pens. And I'm just going to barely put an impression down. As you can see, it doesn't take much clay at all. I'm going to put one up here because I'm going to do two, and I'm going to do them fairly quickly so I can use the same silk screen without having to put it in the water. I put the shiny sticky side down, and I'm going to rub it a little bit with my finger to make sure that it's down and there isn't any air pockets in it. I use cut-up credit cards, especially for little things like this, and to spread my paint with on the silk screen. And these happen to fit these little ones quite well. And I'm going to use the Sculpey Gold metallic that comes in the Sculpey kit of silk screens. It's a real pretty gold. I like it quite well. And it's gold, and it's thick enough to work with without it looking like a watered down gold. Okay, that's all the paint I'm putting on here. Just one strip to begin with. If I need more, I can get it. But it's easier to have less than it is more, and it doesn't take a lot of paint to silk screen something to begin with. and especially these little ones, and I just slide the credit card down with the paint on it over the design, making sure that I get it in the design. I need a little bit more paint, so I'm going to put a little bit more on there. And Sculpey's kit also comes with a silver too, that's a nice silver to work with. Okay, I've got that one covered. I should be working on a block so you can see this. Let me take this off, and I'll see if I can't get the camera adjusted some so you can see the next one a little bit better. Since this is a wet silk screen, I'm going to take my credit card and go over it to make sure that it's down. I don't get paint all over me. As you can see, there was quite a bit of paint left from that other little silk screen on top there, already on the credit card, so it's not going to take much paint. To do a pen, it doesn't take much paint, it doesn't take much clay. And I roll my clay out. I have an Atlas 180, and one being my thickest. I roll my clay out to a number 5, which is a thin amount of clay. But you don't want bulky pens. Okay, I'm going to go off camera and put that in some water real quick. Okay, and I'm going to do this one in black. And I think I'm going to choose that center design right there. It's got a lot of little curly cues in it, and I like black and white together. And I think this will be real pretty. Okay, I'm putting it down on my clay again. Get the gold off of there. And this is just plain black acrylic paint. In fact, this one's apple barrel. And again, I'm just going to run it right over my design and see where it helps to have a credit card to use that you've cut up to fit. Or actually, I cut it up before that, but it works. Instead of having a large squeegee like this one, it's so much easier to just cut up a gift card or credit card, whatever, and have something that fits the size of your silk screen. I'm gently going to pull it up. Oh joy, I like that one. That looks like it has little doves in it. Well, I'm going to have to wait maybe for that one to dry unless I can get this one way over here. I have another credit card here. I'll try to rest it up. Okay, I'll put it down with my credit card. Just a little bit of paint. And just slide over this. Make sure you get your design all covered. And then scrape back over it gently and remove your excess paint. Gently lift it up and put it in your bowl of water. Okay, that's how easy that is to get those silk screened. Normally I wouldn't move this around. I'd put it on a tile or do one at a time and put it on there. And we'll take my cutter and I'm going to line this up, press it in, and it cuts out the design in the right size almost. Pull up your excess clay. This is all black still because I just cut out the silk screen part. We'll lift it up. Gently take it off my blade. And I'm going to center this as much as possible. And get it on there, and then you can see. Okay, I put it right at the edge of the barrel, right up against where the clay is. I run my finger over it and lightly put it down. And I'm going to twist it. And we'll bring my clay up. And I'm going to have to cut that edge off just a little bit. I just cut that much off the edge. And I'm going to slide it together just about up against the edges. Don't overlap it. I'm going to take my craft knife and cut off the ends. I'm going to push my ends gently around the barrel. I'm going to take my craft blade like we do the bracelet cuffs and go right around the top of the barrel and right around the inside because sometimes it gets in there. We'll pat it down a little bit to make it smooth. Same thing with this end. Just make sure that it's grabbing onto the end of the barrels. I can't hardly even, there's my seam, couldn't even hardly see it. Gently gonna roll it. And my seam's gone. This was black Primo that I was using, and it's hot here in San Antonio today. And we seem to miss the season of spring here. We go from winter to summer. So we're already heading towards 100 degrees and have been all last week. Okay, so this is what one side of the barrel looks like. You can see my silk screen on there. Now we'll do the same thing to the other side. We'll lift it up. We'll lay it down. We'll push it up on the edge a little bit. We'll roll it over. Let's see where this one meets. I don't need to take as much off of this one. And it's not the barrel's a different size, it's how your clay stretches onto the barrel. That seems to make a difference with how much you need to cut off. I will push my sides together. Cut off the ends. When I make pens, I make several at a time because they're so easy to make, and I always have so many ideas for them. You can use scrap clay, you can use, suggested clay like the black and the white. You can use colors, you can use Skinner blends. I like Ivy Niles' canes and Tony Street's canes for my pens if I don't make them myself, because they make beautiful canes, and I'd rather spend the time on making the pen than making the canes. Okay, so now here's my two barrels, and because they are silk screened, I cannot sand them and buff them. And because they are a silk screen product on a curved surface, I'm going to use Deep Shine on them. Deep Shine is a UV finish. It's a resin type product, and it works fantastic on curved and round surfaces because it's a brush on, and it goes under the UV light for very little time. So if you're doing a pen or even a pendant or anything, and it's a round surface and you want that resin look, it's not a domine resin, and you want that domine look, that resin look, that's the place to use Deep Shine from tinypandora.com. I'll put a list of all of my suppliers, links to their web pages at the bottom of this video, so you'll have them. Then I will show you how I bake them. I'll do one real quick with little canes on it from Ivy Niles, just to show you how to do a cane on a pen, but it's not hard either. I do sand and buff my cane pens or anything that doesn't have a surface treatment on them, rather than using a Deep Shine. I'd rather have a natural finish like sanding and buffing on an ink pen, because people write with it all the time and it's right in their hands, and can sometimes aggravate how you hold it and stuff like that. Okay, this one is fitting up better. My designs are matching up. Let me roll it a little bit. See that? You can see the black and white better than you can the black and, the black and white better than you can the golden black. I figured you would be able to see it better. Now remember, these are rolled out at a number 5 on my Atlas machine, with one being my thickest. It's quite thin, but you don't want a bulky pen to hold on to, and when you put the band around them, if your clay's too thick on there, it sort of looks a little bit funky looking, because you've got these two fat, or thicker, I guess I should say, thicker barrels, and then you've got the band in between them that may not be as big around as your clay. And in my opinion, it looks a little bit funny. Is it expensive to make these pens? No. You can get a kit. Every time I've gone to order the Funline Slimline kit, it's been on sale for less than $50 for 30 pens. And if you think about it, that averages out to be $1.62 a pen. I don't think that's expensive at all. And as you can see, it takes very little clay, very little paint, or not very many canes to do one of these pens. And they're just quite professional looking when you're finished. And I would rather have something that I use, or one of my friends use, or that I can sell, that's a professional product. You know, we try really hard to get our pendants and earrings and candle photos and bowls and dishes and everything to a professional look. It makes you feel better, makes them sell better, and lets the customer know that you take pride in the work that you do. And that's how I feel about these pen kits. And other companies have these pen kits. I'm just not sure who they are or where they are. I just know that Penn State's the one I was first informed about, and the one that I chose to order stuff from, and I've had very good luck ordering from them. So they're a great company. Okay, so now I have both of these barrels silk screened. These are little wooden dowel rods that I put them on, as long as they're not going to be sanded. Now here's some more that I've done with Mari Joy's silk screen. I call her Joy. This is one that has a really cool geometric shape, and there's it's in the water, I'm sorry. It has 3 different spaces in this one design, and I chose to color each one a different color. So this one's green, blue, and yellow, and this one's pink, purple, and teal. And that wasn't hard either when you get your screens and you see that, remember, you can cut these credit cards down to any size you want. I have one that may be 1/4 of an inch wide that I use on things, but these spread out were wide enough to work, were small enough to work with, and I got my 3 colors on there with no problems. This is 2 bead kits actually, and I use the prop ups where you put your I don't have any right over here with me. Put your bead needles in there, and it has a triangle at the bottom. So I had 2 of those kits, the baking kits. So I used the 2 metal parts to put my little dowel rods on. This one is also a Mari Joy silk screen. It was done on scraps that I just had laying on the table, and it has the circle silk screen on it. This is another one I was playing with. You can see the bright pink design from the silk screen, and then this one has Ivy's watermelon canes on it. There's just 3 slices of canes going up the middle there. This one I'm still going to have to deep shine because of the silk screen. Okay, let me get the other one up here. Let me cut this one out so you can see the difference. This was black Primo clay, and I took Primo white gold glitter and added a little bit of the glitter to the little bit of the black, and made my own silver sparkle like the gold sparkle is. This is a skeleton skull that you can see on the top and the center, a heart in the middle, and then another skull down here at the bottom. That's going to be my design on the pen. On this one, I only have the top skull on there and the heart. So I'm going to put the second skull on there. But I wanted to show you how thin. I slice this by hand. I normally use my Lucy clay slicer, but I was just doing these canes tonight, so I just sliced them by hand. Let me see if I can get that in focus. That's how thin that is. The thinner you can cut your cane to put on your piece, the easier it's going to be for you. I'm gently going to take this off actually with another blade. There we go. And have to lift it up. I'm going to set it inwards a little bit because remember we cut off those ends. And I'm going to gently press it on there. Then I'm going to take a piece of parchment paper. Let me cut, well, it doesn't matter. And I'm going to burnish these to where they are down flat with the piece of clay. The canes you won't be able to feel at all. And burnishing is just putting a piece of paper over it. I like to use parchment paper because I can see through it, for one, and it doesn't stick to the clay. And I just rub it and feel it, and you can either feel the hump around the cane slice, and you know it needs to be burnished in some more. If you would roll these through a pasta machine, or even with a hand roller and roll them, they can distort. And I don't want those canes losing their shape at all, or their features. Okay, let's see what we got. We're good. Had to cut that out a little bit. And again, this is also rolled out on my number 5 setting. They're very, very thin. Let me get another pewter. I had pins out, but evidently I don't. I'm going to move these skulls down to right over top of the hearts and right underneath the heart, because I want both skulls and the heart showing on the ink pen. I just took my blade under there and lifted them off and pressed them back down. Now, paper in here and burnish this one. Do this one a little bit more. There we go. I'll center it up. Roll it up a little bit. Make sure I've got the skeletons all in there this time. And I do. You also can use your blade to cut your clay off with. Just hold my knife right on top of there. Smooth it in. Make sure there isn't any clay down in the barrel. So, you know, just like when you started with polymer clay and you started doing things you like, and next thing you know, you're addicted to polymer clay. And then you learn how to do a certain technique, and, well, we get addicted to that for a while. So be prepared to do several pens. They are addicting, especially if you've purchased canes and all you have to do is slice them and put them on. So I just rolled that on the end on the side where the seam was, just to work it out a little bit. You could use, and there we go. I think that's cute. I've done them before with the skulls and the black roses and black leaves and stuff on the roses, and done the design all the way around the pen. But I thought, what would it be like having a barrel with just the heart and the skulls on there? And I like it. Okay, let me show you this mandrel. Now, if I'm going to sand and buff, I put them on the mandrel to bake. You bake them like everything else. They have to stay on there until they're cool. And don't take them out of the oven. Bake them at the same temperature, same degrees. You can actually bake on this rod. And these are the things that I put in between. Forgot what these are called, but you have to buy them separately if you use them. And so I don't want my barrel going all the way down to this end, so I'm going to slide one of those metal things back on there. This is one of the ends, and it's a circle, but it has a flat side to it right here, where you can rest it while it's baking. We'll slide my barrel on there, and I will put my other little tube thing on there. And if I had the other side done, I'd slide it on there and put my screw-in one on. Let me put this on first. This is the other end, and it'll just help it stay up in the oven. Okay, I've got that on there. So when you bake on your tray in your oven, you just set these down like this and bake it. So I'm going to go get these baked for right now. I'll show you some more real quick that I've done that has the canes going all the way around them. These are the hearts and some rainbow little things, and the happy and sad mask. I forgot what they're called. There's a name for them. These are Ivy's canes. This one I love. I actually made this pen for my cousin. She raises Tibetan Spaniels and shows them. And this is a doggy pen. It has the dog's heads on there. It has the paw print. It has the food bowl. And it has the dog bones. They're just really cool, and they make such cool pens. And then it's got hearts on it too, because she loves her dogs. So let me go get these baked. I'm going to bake them at 275. It's primo degrees Fahrenheit, by the way. And I'm going to bake them for 30 minutes.